Good morning, class. This is Miss Carol Jaggers from North Pontotoc Elementary School, and today we're going to have a lesson on determining the main idea of a text. So let's look at that. Say it with me. I can determine the main idea of a text, recount the key details, and explain how they support the main idea. Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your summer. So let's look and review just a little bit today about the main idea. What is main idea? The main idea is the most important point the author is trying to make. Authors will use supporting details to aid the main idea. Supporting details are statements that help explain or prove the author's point. Let's think of the ice cream cone. Want to make an ice cream cone? The first item you need is the cone. And we'll label that the main idea. Think of the main idea as the cone. The main idea is the most important point. Think of the supporting details as the ice cream scoops. Each ice cream scoop being a supporting detail. Supporting details are like the scoops of ice cream on an ice cream cone. Each supporting detail helps make your main idea cone that much better. Just like making an ice cream cone, a main idea is usually stated first, and the supporting details follow. Warning, main idea is not the same as the topic. Let's look at the difference. The topic is the general subject of the text. The main idea, remember, is the most important point. Here are some examples of the topic versus the main idea. For example, the topic of the article might be an article on bears. The main idea of that text is there are many different types of bears. The topic of an article might be a text on middle school. The main idea of that text might be middle school is different from elementary school. The topic of a text may be computers. The main idea is computers help people do things faster than they otherwise could. These are examples of the difference between topics and main ideas. Now, let's try finding the main idea of a paragraph. Remember from the PowerPoint we were just looking at, where does the main idea come? It just told us that the main idea usually comes where? First. So, if we're going to look at our paragraph, where will we look for our main idea? We will look in the first part of the paragraph. And sometimes the main idea is restated in the conclusion. Let's read this paragraph together, and we will look at the first sentence, and we will look again at the very last sentence. Read with me. Eggs are more than just something to eat for breakfast. You may have heard that eggs are rich in protein. The protein in eggs are actually very similar to the protein found in hair. So raw eggs make excellent hair conditioner. Did you know that eggs are rich in vitamin A too? That makes them a great lotion as well. Just whisk some egg yolks in a bit of water, and you're all set to moisturize your skin. Finally, if you ever find yourself working on a project and you run out of glue, head to your refrigerator. Egg whites are quite sticky when they dry, so they can be used to glue paper. Eggs have many uses, which make them a handy item to always have in your home. Remember, where do we look for the main idea in a paragraph? The main idea usually comes where? Did you say first? So let's look at the first sentence. Eggs are more than just something to eat for breakfast. Eggs are more. We'll look again at the very last sentence at the conclusion. Eggs have many uses, which make them a handy item to always have in your home. Eggs have many uses. Now, let's see if we can determine the main idea. Are you ready? What is the main idea of the passage you have just read? A. Eggs are rich in protein and vitamin A. B. Eggs have many uses. C. People should always have eggs in their refrigerator. D. Eggs are a breakfast item enjoyed by many people. All right, read over these selections. What is the main idea? Take just a minute. Did you say B? Eggs have many uses? You are correct. Good job. Now let's look at a longer text. If you have your Bailey Ed packet that was sent out at the last distance learning packet, if you'll get that out, please. Let's turn in that to the text called Space Food. Now this is a longer text. When we are reading a longer text, we still use the same knowledge from the PowerPoint. We look first in the passage to find the main idea because the main idea is usually stated first. And when we have more than one paragraph, that means we will look in the first paragraph and we will look again in the last paragraph in the conclusion. Now this text has got a title. I will tell you that the title always tells us the main idea. What is the title? Say it with me. Space, food. We have some text features in this text. There is a photograph. Read with me the caption of the photograph. It says Space, Foods, Assortment. Notice that the caption restates the title. We also have a italicized introduction here. Is that important? Yes, it is. So we'll want to read that before we read the first paragraph. It will contain important information related to the main idea. So let's review. Where's the main idea stated in a text? The PowerPoint tells us that we will look at the first, meaning our first paragraph, and we will look at the last, meaning our last paragraph, to find the main idea. And of course, we know that the title always tells us the main idea. And what is the title of this article? Space, food. So when we're reading the first paragraph and when we are reading the last paragraph, anytime you find those important two words, space or food, I want you to be prepared to highlight or circle those two words. And as we're reading, we're going to look for those main idea words that are repeated more than once, or if they are the word space or food, we're going to look for those words too. All right, read with me. We're just going to read the first paragraph and, of course, this introduction right here. All right. Life in space. There's that word space. Well, that's too much of a highlighter. Let's don't highlight it quite that large. But there's that word space, so we've got to underline it. Is very different from life on Earth. When people living in space need to eat, there's space again, it's a different experience than when you eat. In this informational text, Barbara Rodner describes how astronauts take food into space. There's food and space. As you read, take notes on what kind of foods astronauts eat in space. So in that introduction, we just saw the words food and space quite a bit. And it's telling us what? That when astronauts eat in space, it's the same or different than when we eat at home. That's right, it's a little different. All right, let's look at paragraph 1, because that's the first paragraph. Still looking for those words, what? Space and food. Or any other important words that you think are important to the main idea, words that you see often repeated. Read with me. When you really know how important a clean kitchen is, let's start out. You really know how important a clean kitchen is if you live in the same small space for weeks. Everyone knows how to have a clean kitchen so they are healthy. A dirty kitchen can make people sick. Astronauts are people who travel on spaceships. There's the word space. They need to have a very clean home. They travel far from Earth. We need to have clean kitchens everywhere on Earth and in space. And there's the word space again. All right, so we're looking for the word space. We're looking for the word food. And we found the word space a couple of times there. Did we see the word food? Okay. Did we see other important main idea words? Words that were repeated often in that paragraph. What words do we see repeated several times? We see the word clean several times there. Clean is repeated several times throughout that paragraph. So it's saying that kitchens need to be what? Clean. And it's saying that in space, they need to be what? Clean. So that we don't get what? Sick, okay? So astronauts need to have a clean kitchen. That is important, both here on Earth and in space. All right. So not only, let's do some annotating. So we might say space food. We do know the main idea has to have the word space and food in it. Space food must be clean. So we've taken the word space and food and added the word clean to it, because we've seen the word clean here in the first paragraph. Now let's look at the last paragraph and see if it has those words in them, space and food and clean, and see if we're on the right track here. What's in that last paragraph? So we're looking for the word space, we're looking for the word food, and we're looking for the word clean. Let's see if we're on the right track. Read with me. How do astronauts keep their trays clean? Well, there's the word clean. We do see that again. That is another health problem the astronauts solve. They need to stay healthy in space. There's the word space that's in the title. To carry a lot of water to wash trays would be a lot of extra weight. They pack wet wipes in plastic bags. They use them to clean trays. There's the word clean again. So their kitchen is clean and they stay healthy. So we're seeing a repeat of the word space. We're seeing a repeat of the word clean. So we're seeing a lot of the same things here in the last paragraph. A lot of the same main idea words is what we're seeing. So when we're looking for the main idea, we remember the PowerPoint tells us that the main idea comes first. So we looked at the first part of the article. We looked again at the very end to see if it was repeated. And we always remember that the title tells us the main idea, space food. So we found space food in the introduction. We found the word space and the word clean at the bottom. The word clean was used many times. Look how many times the word clean is used in that first paragraph. So we had to add the word clean to our main idea. Now, I need you to do something for me. Turn to if there's someone sitting with you, anybody around, turn to the person that's nearby and tell them what you think is the main idea of this text. We're not going to even worry about the middle part of the text because that's where your supporting details are. We just look at the first part of the article and the conclusion to find the main idea. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk or talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Videotape yourself on the phone if you want to. But tell someone the main idea of this article. Go. Okay, now let's look at our question that goes along with the text. And I know you're ready to choose. Here's your text dependent question. What is the main idea? Take a couple of minutes to choose. A, astronauts must take special steps to eat in space and keep their kitchen clean. B, when astronauts are in space, they don't worry about eating right or cleaning. C, eating and cleaning the kitchen in space is no different than doing so on Earth. Or D, astronauts are more active in space and therefore have to eat more food. What is your choice? Absolutely. I know you chose A. That is the correct choice because look at those important words, space and clean. And we found them all over the place in the first part of the text and again in the last part. Because going back to that PowerPoint, where do we find the main idea? Of course, at the first. Great job. I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget the main idea.